Howdy, folks. Bagger here. Today was mail day. So we got one box of Commander Legends, and I got my Secret Lair. Every dog has its day. So first we'll open this one because everybody should know what's in it in the first place. But I've kind of already forgotten what's in this. I remember there's the Lightning Greaves. It's just amazing. Um, The little dog chewing on the boots reminds me of my dog. She chewed up furniture, so luckily she never touched the boots. On the super sad rest in peace. Um, so we'll start off. We'll see what planeswalker we got with this. These things like to stick on there pretty good. Oh, that one actually wasn't too bad. So, okay, we got Zhang Yangu. I can't read it because of the glue. Uh, so Zhang Yangu, Wildcrafter, and he's the guy that has Mowu there in the background. It's the War of Spark version, but his other Planeswalker version from the whatever those were called, I can't remember. But the special set from for China that you could buy made Mowu the dog, so I bet that's probably going to be a standard card in every set, or in every one of these secret lairs. The standard planeswalker. There we go. Holy jeez. These things are hard to open sometimes. Alright, so we got the Rest in Peace, the sad dog. Lucy had chased every ball, chewed every stick, and rolled in every puddle. She lay down in the sun, content at last. And then there's the Dig Through Time. That is definitely my dog. If you saw my backyard right now, she has done nothing but tear up the backyard. No matter how deep the treasure is buried, Hunter can always sniff it out. The Ancient Grudge with the pug. Shelby locked eyes with the ferocious creature as the glass began to crack. Wish with one more lunge, she would break through and confront her nemesis at last. Luckily, my dog doesn't do that. Although I don't have any stand-up mirrors like that. So, and then the Lightning Greaves. Uh, the boots demonstrated many strange magical properties, but the most remarkable was their ability to withstand Wesley's ferocious chewing. Um, I don't know. They don't look like they're withstanding a whole lot. There's pieces and parts everywhere, but that's kind of how my couches were when I first got my dog Piper. She's gotten a lot better as she aged. She's 7 years old now, and so we're gonna set those to the side. And actually, I'm gonna sit them over here off camera. Uh, yeah, she's done a lot better. Huh. This box seems different than all the other ones I've opened. I wonder if it's coming from somewhere else. Well, it says made in USA. Most of the other ones I bought were a slightly bigger box. I wish I had one on hand. And they were the same size as normal booster boxes. But because there's less cards in a booster box, there's less packs, more cards per pack, but ends up being less overall product inside, and so it's interesting. I don't. Maybe mine were from somewhere else originally, because this box is in much better shape. So that's pretty cool. I usually save all of the, at least one of each booster box that I buy to put on display. One of these days, once I figure out a better way to route my internet and all that, I'd rather not. My Wi-Fi doesn't go very far in my house because of the amount of walls and stuff from the other room that I might be doing this in. So right now I'm set up in my living room, and yeah, these seem a little bit different. So maybe my other ones weren't made in the USA or something. I got this one. I did a razz, a raffle, and won this box. So we're just kind of gonna go through all the commons super quick, because by this time I'm sure everybody's seen the set. Volcanic Dragon, Daring Saboteur, Dreamstone Hedron rather. First Mythic, not a super great one, but it's actually worth a little bit of money. Falthus, Krark, and foil Crow of Dark Tidings. So, yeah, I'm not sure about this Phyrexian Trinity form. It seems cool, but the amount that you'd have to pay to get that Encore is just outrageous. And I figure you've probably got better things to do, unless you've got some kind of ETB, Death Triggers, Matters deck. I feel like you can do way more with 12 mana. So, Immaculate Magistrate, Ardenn, another Hans, and a foil Guildless Commons. So one of the decks I built. I don't know if it's finished. I whittled it down to a 100-card list today. The new Cascade Averna, where she doesn't have Cascade herself, but whenever you Cascade, she has the ability that says whenever you Cascade, you can take a land from exile while cascading and put it into play tapped. So it's very much a it's weird because there's not a whole lot of Cascade stuff that are in those three colors alone. There's definitely better commanders for just straight Cascade. So the deck I've built is a Cascade / Landfalls Matters deck. Kind of combine the two, and it makes it a little bit, I think, a little better than it should be if it was just a Cascade deck. So Sakashima's Will and foil, nice. But, you know, runs Amulet of Vigor, so all the bounce lands, you know, everything will come in tapped, and then I'll untap because of Amulet of Vigor, so I can add mana to them, bounce stuff. So it's pretty cool. I got to remember, now that I'm thinking about it, there's a... Is it Blood Sun? I might have to look into that. One of those, I think it's Blood Sun. That may be something I have to do in there. Removes all abilities but mana abilities. So I wouldn't even have to bounce anything. I could just, I don't know. We'll see. Because the whole point is, I want the landfall, so I don't mind returning lands to my hand so I can get extra land drops. Ooh, Opposition Agent. Nice. Took the third top card in the set. I can't complain about that. And then a Faith's Fetters. Yeah, I think it's like the Lotus, Mana Drain, and then Opposition Agent. So not bad, especially for what I paid for this box. I think I won the raffle for $25. That doesn't count all the other raffles I've put money in for and didn't win, but we're not going to think about that. We're just going to say I won this box for $25 because that's makes me feel better. We got a Command Beacon. I don't know what those are running these days. They were relatively pricey, I think in like the $25 range, because they were really only printed like twice in Commander decks or something like that. So they not a whole lot of availability. So now they're through the roof in availability. So I'm sure they've dropped a lot, but still probably worth a couple of bucks. I mean, if Arcane Signet's still worth a couple of bucks, that thing's got to be worth a little bit more, right? I mean, there's probably less decks that need it, but I don't know. We'll find out. Ooh, the blue court of cunning. I still want to try to build some kind of splicer deck. I guess green white. I think there's a lot of white splicers, and then prosperous pirates, and maybe even a pirate deck. I don't know. I just got so many decks going and brewing. If you saw the rest of my desk, you'd see I've got my Averna deck. I've got two other decks going as well that I don't even know who all is going to helmet. I think I'm still in the process of building my ooze deck, so I just started looking through all my oozes. So it's pretty crazy. I did some cleaning up today, so I've actually moved a little bit of stuff off of this desk, which was actually nice because I went out to go get some food brought back and found this on the doorstep, so I was pretty excited. All right, Blade Griff prototype, Captain Vargas Wrath, Ghost of Ramirez de Pietro, and then a foil Necrotic Hex. Seems okay. It's a 7 mana spell, but it's a board wipe in theory that also gets you 12 power back on board. Could be better, but could be worse for sure. Especially if you're in some kind of Zombies Matters deck or, again, Death Triggers and an ETB deck, because you also have to sack 6 creatures, but then you also get 6 back, so could be good in certain decks, could be okay in a lot of decks. So nice mana drain. Oh, let's go to the mythic pile. This turned out to be a pretty good box, huh? And then Briarblade Adept. I also kind of want to build the Elf Ball, Abomination of Llanowar. I've never done elves because I don't typically build mono green. I think I built one, and it was because I decided to build a deck with just the mythics and rares that I have in my collection. With the exception of basic lands, everything was rare or mythic rarity. Or had been, I think had been printed at that rarity, because there were a few I had that turned out, I think they were rares, but then they'd been downgraded in a couple other reprint sets. So, but the versions I had were all rare or mythic rare. So it was pretty cool. It was not necessarily the most powerful deck. It was really a weird mono green deck because it relied very heavily on mana rocks. Because it turns out there's not a lot of mana dorks at rare or mythic rare rarity. So I think I had like 2 or 3, and there's a few more, but they all rely on having usually elves out. So the deck was more of a Hydra deck than anything. So Austere Command, pretty good board wipe. Yearlock, he's one of my favorite new commanders. And then a Armorcraft Judge, an uncommon foil. So I built him. I played him for the first time yesterday. Like I actually did a draft online on MTGO, and he was in my first pack along with the Apex Predator, the one that's got 4 Cascade on it. So I picked those 2. Unfortunately, the last time that I've only played 2 out of the 3 games, and one of them I wasn't able to even cast it until I had nothing left in my deck that was worth anything hitting. So I didn't get a lot out of it, but I haven't actually won with that deck yet, so I think I got one more game left. And but it was super fun. A lot of the problem I think playing online is there's a lot of new people to Magic Online that wanted to draft it that aren't familiar with it. They also changed how the game works, like as far as like what's on the screen and certain shortcuts you can do. They changed it at the same time as uploading Body of Knowledge. I like that card. As well as putting Commander Legends on there. So like it changed the gameplay a lot, and and then there are new people. So there's a lot of slower games. Um, if you're not familiar with MTGO at all, it's difficult at best. and then uh, and then they went and changed it. So for people that are familiar with MTGO, the change made it even slower for them. So it was a little more difficult to play, which is why I'm kind of waiting for the last game, and then we'll see after a couple days if it gets any better. Um, but I built it in paper and I had to proxy a couple cards. Elvis Dreadlord, nice. Because I just built the deck and was missing some, so um, I think I need a little more interaction, a little more blockers. So I built the deck as a. I'll probably do a deck tech on it once I get all the cards in that I have. For the deck list I have. I'll probably do a paper deck tech for it. So I don't want to give away too much, but it's mostly a group slug. Try to, try to get everybody a bunch of mana that they'll have to either use or get burned up on. Nice, Obeka, Brute Chronologist in foil. I think so. One of my buddies, is trying to build Obeka. Should be a pretty interesting deck. I don't know at what power level he's going to build, but we always build we play anywhere from CEDH to relatively low level. Mostly higher power to CEDH though is what we play in our play group. Um, so it's who knows how he's going to build it. Right now, he's playing a relatively low power Grenzo deck based off of, all right, one of the Battle Bond lands, based off of basically the cards he owns. So, so it's still a pretty decent deck, but it's definitely not high power at all. But it looks fun. So. That's the most important part. I am kind of sad they printed a lot of the Monarch cards and made some new ones, but they didn't print Palace Jailer. That's one of my favorite Monarch cards. It's just an overall good card in general. Nice Sphinx of the Second Sun, another mythic. Siani, I almost call her Ciari. Abomination of Llanowar. And we got a foil etched Numa Jiraga Chieftain. And for those who haven't seen these in person, they look a lot better in person. It's hard to they look, maybe it's just the quality of my camera. And most cameras I've seen these filmed on, they almost look matte, like a shiny matte, if you will, but they're not. There's definitely like a texture to them that they're metallic, and it just doesn't translate very well. I really like them. I saw somebody post on Facebook, like how can anybody like these? They don't look that good at all. I absolutely love them. I like the border. I like the text box. I just like how they did it. They're just pretty amazing. And they also seem to hold up better. Oh man, you guys can't even see that. Sorry, my elbows are killing me. Um, Coastline Marauders, Monstrous Onslaught, Nadir's Nightblade, Sakushima's Protege, nice. So I got Sakushima's Will and Protege. Arumi, this card I'm going to try to build as well. I played against it in one of my first draft game, and holy crap, was it good. Uh, the biggest problem with it was, you know, just having a limited card pool. Um, so, but it looked really good. If you thought Escape was good with like Croxa and some of the other Escape cards, man, Uro, this Encore, I think that's a sleeper commander right there. It's really good. I mean, it's not going to be CEH or anything like that. But holy crap, is it good? Nice, Rings of Brighthearth. All right, Miara, Jury. She's going to go in quite a few of my decks. I like to play Rakdos a lot. It's probably my favorite color combination. Demir, it's a toss-up, man. I honestly, I know I've talked about this a lot in a lot of my videos. Demir and Rakdos are by far and above my favorite color combinations, and two color combinations, that is. So, but it's so hard to pick one above the other. I have a lot of fun with both of them. They're two completely different styles of play, though, which is what makes it very hard for me to pick which one I like over the others. Nev's Disc, all right, that's pretty good. And this one, I basically have this deck built already before this ever even came out. I built a Demir Flash deck that I didn't really have a good commander for. And so I built it with Garuda as the commander, and then immediately changed or built a Garuda clone tribal deck that is amazingly fun to play. So I haven't played the Flash deck in a while, but I'm gonna have to, I think, with Nimrus. Seems like a very good Flash commander. So Thirst for Knowledge, Intangible Virtue, Guilt Leaf Winnower, Sakushima's Will again. Can't complain. We got another Obeka and a foil common, the Kithkin Soldier. I think it's the one and only Kithkin in the set. Poor Richard from MTG Goldfish. He's been wanting new Kithkin all over the place, and that's the first and only one they printed in, 10 years? Something like that. So, but he said it's probably better than most. So, it's an improvement. So that's good. Scholar of the Ages, First Response, Victimize, and the Red Court, Court of Ire. Surprisingly, let's look through these. Arkelos, my other buddy's building that one, and Pride of the Perfect, Pride of the Perfect. So I got it. That's the hard part is, I want to build some of these, but so do my friends. We're not all going to build the same deck. I mean, granted, they'll definitely be different decks. It's not like we're going to build them mirror exactly the same, but at some point, there's so many new commanders anyway that it doesn't even really matter. There's plenty to go around. All right, this is my favorite and probably in my opinion, the strongest court. Court of Ambition. So obviously you become the monarch when ETBs, and then at the beginning of your upkeep, each opponent loses 3 life unless they discard a card. If you're the monarch, instead they lose 6 life, or unless they discard 2 cards. So that is probably my favorite, and I think personally the strongest. Got a Fire Diamond, the strongest of the courts. The green one, maybe, I think is second strongest. I think it goes black, green, and then I think white. Honestly, I think white is next in my opinion. I think it goes black, green, white, uh, and then I think in a vacuum, red and then blue. Blue might actually be the weakest in a vacuum. Obviously, there's certain decks that, you know, any kind of mill deck, um, whether it's a self mill or mill everyone, it's a really good card. Uh, like, I mean, I'm probably going to put it in my Anawan deck. It's not really a mill deck per se, but it does a lot. I mean, that's not the goal, is to mill people out. Um, but it happens. I mean, there's a lot of incidental milling going on. So what's a little more extra that could also just be card draw. So, all right, reshape the earth. We got another mythic. Quain the Rabbit Wizard. Gore Muldrak. So we got two mythic and two rares, and then a foil Path of Ancestry. All right, folks, last pack. That's the last one. What are we gonna get? Are we gonna get something sweet that's even sweeter than the Mana Drain and Opposition Agent and Rings of Bright Hearth we already got? Doubt it, but we'll find out. Angelic Armaments. Armorcraft Judge. A Guildless Commons. And for the rare, we've got a Bio-Waste Blob. Like I said, that's another deck I'm working on. Ooze Tribal. Kanji Skywarden seems pretty good. Brineland. And the last foil, Haunted Cloak. A common. Bum, bum, bum. So, that's what I got for you guys tonight. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and we will see you next time.